announcement, and I want to thank you. A lot of French players are making a great job. Large groups present in the room, young entrepreneurs, working very closely with the research, the public research system. And I have to say that in terms of artificial intelligence and math, we have a tremendous ecosystem. We have the best labs and universities of the world, to be honest. But if we want to succeed in artificial intelligence, we have to take the lead. That's what we did. But we have all together to build a smart and new regulation. We started to do it at the European level with this new common regulation and the GDPR. It's a very important step forward. France basically took the law in order to enforce this new European regulation. And in a few days, the 25th of May, it will be enforced in France. That's a huge change in terms of data protection. But that's a huge change because what we are doing is building a European sovereignty for data. And we have to do the same for cloud. We have to do the same for all this different ecosystem. Because it means we put ourselves in a situation to build European sovereignty. We put ourselves in a situation for our startups to develop themselves and accelerate in a clear framework. But we put yourself in a situation to see the rule of the game. And in terms of privacy and data, to say, that's the rule of the game. Now it's clarified, I have to comply. And that's a precondition for our citizens to believe, to have trust in this new environment. And to preserve this pillar of democracy, which is trust in governments and trust in players for everybody. And this is a unique step forward. And it's very important. And we should not underestimate. And it's extremely important to follow up on these different issues all together. These disruptions are creating huge impacts on our social model, creating unfair situation as well. Good for jobs creation, but unfair for classical players. We experienced that in France for taxi drivers, for instance. The classical way to proceed was to say, I want to block innovation and change. It's not good for the country because I have existing players. Another way to proceed, and I want to thank Uber for the very big announcement made yesterday, and Deliveroo as well. Let's create jobs, disrupt, innovate, and provide a better business. But let's create a new social model in order to provide these entrepreneurs joining the platform to have a protection, to have access to hospital, access to pension scheme and so on. That's the first step. Is it sufficient? Probably not. Will it create some bias with some of the players? For sure, but in the right direction. But what we are doing on this field is as well a better behavior for a better regulation. And at the point of time, we will have to create a new regulation in terms of social rules for all the players. Because it's not good in an economy to have some people without any rule, any rights. Because I can tell you, after 60 or 65, they will come, but they will not come to see you. They will come to see me, saying you have to finance now, without any contribution, being paid. So we have to clarify the game and create as well new common regulations. I mean, all in all, I think what we have to do is all together to take these new initiatives on artificial intelligence, data, I mean, equality, social system, taxation, in terms of gender equality and so on, in order to build a new common framework. That's what we are doing. And I will be very blunt with you on this situation. You have a US model. The US model is not regulated. It was driven for decades, it was driven, and is still driven, by private players. It was very good for innovation and for the very beginning. Much more rapid, much more efficient. But this model is being jeopardized, and will have a lot of trouble. Because now it's impossible for politicians and for governments to explain to citizens how it functions. And it's not sustainable for a government to say, in terms of privacy, I'm not the one in charge, I'm sorry. In terms of cyberbullying, I'm sorry for your young girl. She decided to suicide because of cyberbullying. But I'm not the one to regulate, this is his private players. In terms of taxation, it's impossible to have a government saying, my poor guy, you are working hard, you are paying tax, and now you are defeated by somebody paying no tax. That's everything I mentioned is jobs government. It's our job. It's our responsibility. So for me, the US model is no more sustainable because there is no political accountability. On the other side, you have a very strong Chinese model. The Chinese model is very efficient. It's better than we are in terms of artificial intelligence. But this model has not the same values as the one we have. In terms of privacy, in terms of human rights, in terms of just respect for everybody, gender equality and so on. This model is over-centralized. Artificial intelligence, data collections are organized by the government. There is nothing to deal with our model and our collective preferences. And I will never be in a situation. I want my people and my startups developed in China. It's good. But I don't want my people being regulated under Chinese law. I don't want my people, my citizens or my startups being regulated under de facto dominance of a sort of Chinese regulation or over-concentration. So now what is at stake is how we build a European model reconciling innovation and common good. That's it. That's our challenge. That's a challenge of our generation. And this challenge is a job between startups, large caps, big high-tech companies, and governments. And it's to say, let's have a face-to-face discussion as the one we had yesterday together. There is no stigma. Nobody is guilty on his own. We have to work together to build this common framework because this is a unique condition to have a sustainable innovation and to avoid big crises, to avoid unsustainable situation. That's why what we did with the Tech for Good initiative, what we are doing today with your commitments, and I want to thank all the groups, the startups, the companies which decided precisely to make these bold commitments. I want to thank you, really, because you made a big step forward. But we share ideas and principles. We share common initiatives. And basically, as there is no free lunch, like yesterday, there is no sustainable free riding in anywhere. Because we live somewhere, precisely. So, let's work together to build this better place in concrete terms. That's why I propose that we follow. In concrete terms, we will follow all the initiatives we will issue and that you will announce in detail during this day. And we will report every semester on this initiative to say, we deliver or not. That's a pressure for you now. But that's a pressure for us as well, because it's a call for action for us. Second, on artificial intelligence, I would like to follow up. I propose Prime Minister Trudeau for the G7 to take an initiative and create a common governance for artificial intelligence and follow up, as I propose, on AI for humanity and have a common global structure precisely trying to follow everything, and as you propose, Satya, not regulating at this stage, but coordinating the regulations and creating a common thinking on artificial intelligence. I think it's very important. In November in Paris, we will host Forum for Peace with a lot of leaders and with the ministers present. You are all invited for this forum, which will be for the centenary of the end of the First World War. But during this forum, France proposed to welcome the annual meeting precisely for our global Internet forum. I mean, it's very important to have this Internet governance forum welcomed in Paris and to share this common idea in order to progress on this governance and regulating issues. But more than that, what I want to propose is two concrete things. Let's come back every year. Let's come back next year here. And let's have every year a Tech for Good summit with VivaTech initiative. Let's follow up. Let's enlarge the group of people. Let's put the pressures on those who are not part of the club. Let's enlarge the club to a lot of startups and companies, all those who want to join, in order to have 1 or 2 days working sessions, playing on concrete commitments, but this new common framework of regulation. So I invite you for next year in order to follow up and work and make this Tech for Good initiative a sustainable one, if I may say, i.e. a permanent one, not to lose the momentum and to keep the pressure. And my second proposal is now, all together, with the startups, the researchers, the labs, the VCs and so on, coming from France and attracting the counterparts or the people from the rest of the world. Let's decide to make this country the gateway for this new regulation and this new world. I want to make France the country where we build, we think, this world of innovation, sustainable and responsible innovation, this make where tech and common good just advance and progress together. Voilà mes amis, ce que je voulais vous dire et partager avec vous.